Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and this is our weekly TV news show in which we discuss renewals, cancellations, pilot orders, all that jazz.
Thrilling.
Yes.
I hope there's some more interesting news than your intro would lead us to believe.
What was uninteresting about that intro? That was a fine intro.
Just stuff, jazz stuff. Yeah.
It's a fine intro. Fine.
All right.
Fine, I tell you. Okay, so that's what we do in the show. We work our way through the news. At the end of the show, we'll pick our favourite episode of TV of the week. It's a bit murky these days because there's not as much weekly shows that we cover outside of the stuff for the DC podcast. So it tends to be those plus, which right now we also have Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, because we typically don't count the binge streaming shows because they're not one episode a week, so it's not fair.
We've been working our way through, of course, Umbrella Academy, but we don't really include that. So that segment's basically dead at the end unless it becomes relevant again. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But
because it's really obvious what's won most weeks.
It really is. So we'll get into the news though. Yeah. Also, it is worth mentioning Connor's going on vacation most of next week, so there will not be movie news at the end of the weekend. Usually Sunday, Mondays when the movie news goes up. That will not be happening this week because Car's on vacation. Next week, TV news, if it happens, will probably just be me. It'll probably just be a solo TV news session because Cara gets back that day and we've got other more important things to catch up on when he gets back, if we get anything done that day at all. So
yeah, because I won't have any. I have the exact amount of food to get me to when I go away. There is nothing for when I get back, so I'm going out for dinner, which probably means I'm going to end up at a pub and may have more drinks than is sensible for recording things.
Okay.
So
I don't need the rest of the detail. I don't need the rest of the detail. The core facts as they were needed were laid out.
Yeah, but that's not how you tell a story.
Oh yeah, we go to you for storytelling, yes. So we'll get into the news then. So first up, we have a renewal for seasons 3 and 4 of Young Sheldon.
Of course. CBS gonna see. Hang on.
Starting with CBS this week. I know I'm being cruel.
Something to get.
Oh, he's like, I have to drink for CBS. That is basically the action that's happening right
now.
A
2-season renewal for Young Sheldon. That deserves a drink, and you know it.
Do you have a whiskey called Bazinga?
I do not. I am settling for a whiskey called Cardu.
It's in the ballpark. I'm not gonna.
Hey, it's Scottish. This is on you.
Bite me. So that's been renewed for 2 seasons. I said that mostly just for the joke of saying it, to be honest. We don't really care. But cancellations are abound this week. We've got a few things ending. First of all, Punisher and Jessica Jones both got cancelled at Netflix, which is not surprising. Everyone was expecting it. The only remotely surprising thing about this is that they announced Jessica Jones' cancellation before the final season aired. Because with all the other ones, they've waited until after the season aired before they axed it.
Yeah, and it was a really weird cancellation in terms of the announcement of it. Like, Punisher got a proper announcement, and someone followed up and they went, oh yeah, Jessica Jones cancelled too. They kind of just followed it up like that rather than giving it its own story.
I mean, I honestly wonder if they didn't intend to announce it and then just realise, you know what, no one's expecting it not to be cancelled at this point, so we might as well just tell them.
Yeah,
so
probably.
The only upside for Jessica Jones being as late as it is compared to all the other shows and being the last one cancelled is that it might have actually had a chance to have an ending.
It might.
Whereas the other ones, from what I've heard, have not.
No, but it's fine. We'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know because we gave up on all those shows. But yeah, it's done. Speaking of Netflix cancelling things, they also cancelled Friends from College after season 2. So that's done.
Yeah.
That was a comedy which we never tried. We heard nothing but bad things about, honestly.
We watched I remember the trailer looking pretty rough.
Yeah, which was a shame because there was 1 or 2 cast members that we liked well enough, but unfortunately just not that good.
Yeah.
And
they're free to go and do better things.
Speaking of cancellations, Nightflyers has been cancelled at Sci-Fi after 1 season.
I am shocked, I tell you. Shocked that such an amazingly high quality show could get cancelled.
So you say that, but because it was bad is why I expect Sci-Fi to spite us and renew it out of some weird principle.
It still didn't look cheap enough to renew.
There's some truth in this. So yeah, Nightflyers there's the George R. R. Martin based series, the sci-fi one, which, and when I say sci-fi, I mean science fiction, isn't it? It's in space and stuff. Obviously, it's a sci-fi channel. I mentioned that before, but honestly, we watched the first episode and it was terrible. We had no interest in seeing any more of it, so can't exactly shed tears over this. And then
it says a lot that even because this had one of those international deals with Netflix, even that's not enough for them to go, do you know what, we'll do another season.
And on top of that, also ending, although this is less of a cancellation and more of an ending, in that I believe they knew about this when they were writing it, and it's getting an ending. So the announcement here is not that it's cancelled, it's that it's ending with this upcoming season, and that is Man in the High Castle is going to be ending with season 4.
Given all the troubles that went through behind the scenes, I'm amazed it's got this far.
Yeah, and people seem to like it. People have, said, hey, do you not like Man in the High Castle? And we really weren't that into it. We watched all of season 1, and we thought it was kind of mundane. And even though we liked the premise and we liked the concepts it was playing with, we thought it was really spinning its wheels for a lot of its first season.
Just a bit dull.
Yeah. So maybe it got better, and if so, I'm happy that fans will get an ending, and it's not just disappearing without a trace. But so Man in the High Castle's ending. And then we get a premiere date, to shift gears a little bit, for the second half of season 5 of Arrested Development, which is funny because I didn't even realise that the last time because I saw an announcement saying
it like shadow dropped last time, didn't it?
I don't remember if it did that. I don't think so. I remember the marketing happening. But
was this not the show where it was like, there was rumours that it's coming back again, and then like 3 weeks later they were like, yeah, it's coming next week.
If you count that as a shadow drop, sure, but I mean,
relatively speaking,
but here's the thing about this is that I didn't even realise that when those 8 episodes dropped last year that it was only half of a season. I had no idea that was the case. So when I saw an article this week say Arrested Development returning March 15th, I went, wait, they shot a season 6? What? We now have 3 Netflix seasons? We don't. The reason why it was only 8 episodes is because it was half of a season, and this is season 5B, so they had already shot all this stuff back when they shot the rest of it. Honestly, the prevailing sentiment I am seeing online from fans of Arrested Development, and I count myself in this, even though I didn't see the first half of season 5, I never finished season 4, is that it's just kind of depressing how not exciting this is. Because seasons 1, 2, and 3 are fantastic. They're one of the best comedies ever made. And for some reason, the transition to Netflix wasn't just a decline, it was like a jumping off the cliff in terms of quality, where it wasn't the worst thing ever, it just wasn't good. And it was kind of depressing. I never finished season 4. I've heard the recut versions is better. Tim's watched season 5, or the first half of season 5, and he did not recommend it. So I've had very little enthusiasm for going back and trying to finish season 4, or watching the recut version.
Yeah, if season 5 was meant to be really good, you'd go, go on then.
Sure,
right?
Yeah. But what I'm seeing from everyone online who has watched season 5, or the first half of it, is everyone's like, I wish I was excited. And I'm like, that tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, it does.
Everyone was so excited that Netflix were bringing it back. Everyone was so hyped about it because seasons 1 through 3 were great. And it's just a shame. It's a shame.
I get it.
But it's back March 15th if you're still going to brave the waters. So next up we had some trailers, some of which came with dates because Netflix like to announce dates with trailers. But before we get to the Netflix stuff, the Twilight Zone, which is coming April 1st. There was actually a TV spot during the Super Bowl that we never actually spoke about, but this was the new trailer, the longer trailer that was released to hype up the release of the Twilight Zone. It's worth mentioning episodes 1 and 2 are both going out on April 1st, and then it's switching to Thursdays the following week for episode 3, and then it'll be out weekly from there.
April 1st is a Monday or Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, Monday, I think. And then it's switching to the Thursday for the following week. So, yeah, so I've seen at least the first 2 seasons of the original Twilight Zone. I think I've seen maybe some of the third. I can't remember. It's been a while. And I love the concept of Twilight Zone. I had no idea what this was going to feel like. This trailer is very much a lot of quick cuts of a lot of different episodes.
This is what happens when you have a trailer for an anthology, right?
Yes.
It's just, here's some stuff.
Yeah, but you can gauge some things from it.
Sure.
Well, how did you feel? You've never seen Twilight Zone. How did you feel about it?
I've seen a smattering of episodes, like odd episodes on TV here or there. I don't know. It's fine. It looks like an anthology. I haven't got much to base. I don't get enough of any of them to have an opinion
I like the
based on this
tone.
trailer.
I like the tone of it. I'm not as weirdly. I don't want to say you're apathetic because it's not you don't care about the show, but I got a tone from the trailer and I was kind of like into it. And then when the main theme kicks in towards the end, it was like yeah, do. I was like yeah, do it, Peele, do it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because Jordan Peele's the host for the new show. If you didn't know that,
I get it. I'm still looking forward to the show. Just I get very little out of a trailer. For however many episodes this is that it showed in that trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, I get if like half a scene from each one, if that.
Yeah, but you saw a lot of noble faces, a lot of faces you recognise.
Yeah, but they were all faces I knew were in it anyway.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying it's something to mention. You're saying it as if there's nothing to talk about. There is things to talk about. There's glimpses of some of the weirder plots. There's faces. There is some things to mention.
Sure.
I'm trying to draw some interesting conversation out of you, and you're just hitting me with.
I don't think it was that interesting a trailer. And I think that I feel this way about pretty much any anthology trailer, though. I feel like they're so hard to do.
Okay.
What do you want from me?
We'll move on then. We get a trailer for The Order, which is a Netflix show. It's coming March 7th. And
it's weird because it's a Thursday.
Yeah, but I mean they've dabbled with other days.
They have, but it still feels weird.
One of the Stranger Things, I'm sure, was like a Tuesday or something like that. There's been a couple of weird ones.
There has, yeah.
But yeah, so The Order is a show about a secret society in a university that are all into magic. So it's like a supernatural show, and there's also some sort of war with werewolves going on. The most notable thing I'd say about this trailer is that one of the lecturers, I'm going to assume not the dean because she's still far too young to be a dean, but one of the lecturers is Catherine Isabel, which I actually think is quite noteworthy because one of her biggest roles was a movie called Ginger Snaps, which is one of the best werewolf movies.
It's probably why they cast her.
It's probably why they cast her, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll do this TV job for some money, some dosh."
Because this looks trashy shite.
Oh, it looks terrible. This looks like absolute garbage. There was, other than seeing Catherine Isabel and having a chuckle because she's in a werewolf thing, I hated everything about this trailer. I hate the actors. I hate the tone. I hate the pretty
music,
boy and girl attitude. It feels like the trashiest CW show possible. It really does.
Do you know what I hate most about this? I feel there is a large audience that's going to love it.
There probably is. It's probably going to do quite well, and that's upsetting because it looks like absolute trite. Also, I got really Scottish there a minute ago. I'm surprised you never asked me about the word dosh. I felt like you were probably going to react to that.
I feel like I've just heard it before.
Not from me. I don't say that often.
I can't even remember what you were in context of your sentence.
Dosh means money.
Yeah, that's not just Scottish.
Is that just Scottish? I thought it was a Scottish thing.
No, we use that as well.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Which is why I probably didn't react. I didn't even know she'd said it.
I assumed that was a Scottish only thing. I mean, I'm still glad I'm explaining it because
yeah, for the rest of the world.
Yeah, but yeah, so no, it looks terrible. Everything about it has the it's got the cheesy pop music playing as the bad actor pretty boy is like trying to get into secret society, and there's the attractive girl sort of his teacher to lead him into it.
Do you know what this is? Yeah. It's if you got an AI to watch every CW show, and then right, go away AI and create what you think a CW show is, you get this.
Hold on, mixed with a couple of things though. I feel like it's like CW shows plus like a hint of Twilight, maybe a spattering of, say,
I feel all the Twilight stuff's already in CW shows.
What was that one with the werewolf and the vampire in it?
You're gonna have to narrow it. Being Human.
Being Human. That was the one. I think it was that.
Okay.
Yeah, that.
I really like the first 3 series of the British version. And then it went downhill.
I never saw it. I was getting these feelings from these things.
I feel like CW has Vampire Diaries and all that sort of stuff anyway. So that's all on the network already. It's all there. Right. There's nothing about this that felt not CW to me.
No, well, all I'm saying is that there's other things guilty of this shit that's not just the CW.
Oh no, okay, I'm with you. Yeah,
I'm trying
okay.
to point out that there's multiple places this could be ripping off. It's not just even CW is the easy way to explain it, but they're not the only ones guilty of this.
They're not, but I think including like the music choices and things like that, it felt more in line with CW than any of those other examples.
It felt like CW and CBS made a baby.
Oh God, it did.
And that's what we got. Because the acting is usually better on CW. It's terrifying. As terrifying as that is to think.
I assume they have to pay a reasonable salary to get some relatively.
And I'm not
actors.
counting my dear Scream Queen Catherine Isabel in this. I'm talking about all the
leads.
All your leads, yes. Even the cult leader who's like another lecturer, he was pretty hammy.
Oh, he was rough, yeah.
So yeah, Order looks bad. And then the other trailer we got also from Netflix, this is coming on March 8th, one day later, is Afterlife, which is a Ricky Gervais series, which his wife passes away from cancer, and he's sort of left on his own, and he's a miserable prick about it.
Yeah. This tonally, if you're familiar with Ricky Gervais's work, it feels more in line with Derek in the awful person, but with a heart in there in the comedy. Because this feels like it's got some genuine feeling to it.
I like when he told the ginger kid that he wasn't even good enough to molest. That was my favourite joke.
Yeah, what was it?
Because the kid shouts pedo.
Tommy Ginger C word.
Yeah, because the kid shouts pedo at him because he's walking past. He's just walking past. He's not even turning to look at anyone. He's just walking past.
Walk past the school.
And the kid yells out pedo, and Ricky Gervais turns around and says, "I'm not a pedo, but if I was, you'd be out of luck, you ginger fat."
C word.
Yes, it was a funny line. Ricky Gervais is usually funny too. He can be hit or miss at times. Like,
I have never seen a Ricky Gervais thing I've not been a fan of.
He's hit or miss with me, especially with his scripted work. Like, obviously he scripted a stand-up show, but his stand-up stuff, I've never not enjoyed his stand-up. Right, his scripted stuff, I'm a little bit more hit and miss with. So, well, not I like this is a bit
because I loved his The Office. I love Extras. Derek, I'm a big fan of. So, I'm down for this. I'm looking forward to it. Looks like exactly the sort of thing I'm going to enjoy because I feel like I'm just in line with his comedy. So works for me.
All right, so that's Afterlife. He's been awful to everyone and thinks he can get away with it. Makes constant jokes about killing himself and that kind of thing. So I assume there'll be a nice heartwarming thing by the end of the season to kind of wrap it all up. But that's a Netflix show. So taking on to more news. This is more Netflix news. This is kind of a renewal announcement, but it's also got more to it, which is why it's separate from the other renewals.
Yeah. Netflix been busy.
So, Haunting of Hill House was a big thing, right? Haunting of Hill House did very well for them. Did very well for us, in fact. Our reviews for Haunting of Hill House did very well. Well, I say our. My reviews for Haunting of Hill House did very well.
Me not being there had no impact on that. They would have been done equally as well with me.
You can vote in the comments if you believe that statement or not. So they announced that it's been renewed, and it's an anthology, which, if you'd seen the show, you kind of assumed it probably would be. Because the story kind of wrapped up, and it was kind of loosely based on the book, right? So the second season is going to be called The Haunting of Bly Manor. So each season will be the haunting of whatever, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's based on a book. It's actually based on the same book of another classic movie, which I have seen, and because it's based on the book Turning of the Screw as the title. So Haunted of Bly Manor, it's going to be the plot of the second season. It's going to debut in 2020, so they're not aiming for this year. So obviously it debuted in October, the first season. So
yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they just have it all the way till next October, 2020.
Yeah, it's possible. Realistically, we could get this by February. If they wanted to hit early.
If they wanted to, but they may not. I feel like launching this close to Halloween is the best.
Depends if they've got any other horror things lined up for around then, isn't it?
Yeah, but they had two that year as well. They had Sabrina the same month.
They did, yeah. But I don't know how far ahead they actually kind of plan in things.
Just stock up in horror stuff for October. Every week's a new horror show. Go for it. So yeah, so Mike Flanagan, who directed the first season, him and Trevor Macy, they've signed an overall deal with Netflix to develop shows with them. Second season, the Haunting anthology, as they're calling it now, is kind of part of that deal, and this all makes sense. So Bly Mansion is setting of the psychological gothic horror novella Turn of the Screw. It takes place almost entirely in the old country mansion. It is where the two young orphans are looked after by a young governess, and whom most of the story is narrated by. So obviously I didn't recognize the title of the book or the novella because that's not what the movie's called. But then it said, oh, it's been adapted in various forms before, including The Innocents from 1961. And I went, oh, I've seen that movie. I know that quite well. And funnily enough, like, it's one that I kind of think about around The Haunting, the original Haunting. Like, they're both from around the same time period. They both kind of spring to mind together.
There was a bit of a trend, is what you're saying.
So it feels like they're going to take... I don't know if it's necessarily a trend that they're both movies from that era. I feel like the type of books they're going after, though, to adapt
No, I
from...
meant there was a trend at that time.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Of, hey, one of these worked out quite well. Let's all get on it.
But it seems like the thing here is they're going to take... Each season is going to be an adaptation of a supernatural book. That seems to be what the precedent they're setting is.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So there's no word if Flanagan will direct the second season yet.
Is there not?
It doesn't say that. It says, new characters for second season, multi-year contract with Mike Flanagan and executive producer Trevor Macy. It never actually says the words that he will helm the second season. I mean, maybe he is, and it's just taking it for granted.
Yeah,
but I am not willing to say it without the specific words being stated, though.
That's fair. I definitely read an article that said that he was, but the article that I read may have just been assuming based on the information that you're reading there, which is why I was a little surprised there. No,
he's definitely involved. He's developing the show, but there's nothing about him actively directing all episodes again. So,
yeah.
This is a fine thing, and amusingly, Connor can review season 2 because he doesn't have to watch season 1.
Yeah.
You don't.
I know, but it's still annoying.
It's not even related. It's a different universe.
Ooh, so they say now.
Okay, maybe when season 5 rolls around and they do the Haunting Avengers, where all the families meet up and take on the ghosts together.
It's all the same ghosts somehow. There's a way.
There. Let's see if I can get through the next article without Connor trying to correct me 5 times and failing miserably. Which, by the way, is extending the length of this show. And given that you delayed the start of this so long, let's get
you
move
say
on.
I delayed. It wasn't my fault that my internet was shite.
I'm still blaming you. So next up, here's an interesting story actually about Winona Earp. So Winona Earp was renewed for season 4 at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
presumably last summer that was. And what's strange though is that they're having some troubles with it. Not from Sci-Fi's end though, from IDW Entertainment's end. Apparently IDW Entertainment are going through some financial troubles, and even though they should be shooting season 4 right now, they're not. Melanie Scarfano said on Twitter that they're not shooting right now. The showrunner said some things on Twitter as well, and they've not outright said that they're refusing to shoot it, but IDW Entertainment have apparently indicated that they're experiencing financial difficulties and they're running a deficit and cannot proceed with production on the 4th season at this time. And I think this is interesting, just from this perspective, is I can't think of another time in history, from all the times that I've been following TV news, where the problem comes from the production company and not the network cancelling something.
Yeah, this story is interesting for me because earlier this week I saw Winona Earp trending, on Twitter, season 4. I'm like, season 4 not happening yet? Because it felt, I thought I'll click on it, and I had to skim through, and nothing was telling me what the problem. Everyone was just like, "Oh, come on, let's make season 4 happen." And I thought, "Oh, I guess I'm misremembering, and it didn't get renewed after, something like that." And I didn't bother looking into it anymore because I thought, whatever. And then suddenly this is actually much more interesting than I thought it was.
Yeah, Sci-Fi's put out a statement saying, "No, it's not us. We want to make the show. We love Winona Earp. We want more of it." So IDW are the ones to blame here, which is a shame because they obviously also produce comic books and stuff, and I like their content, well, some of it anyway.
I wonder if this is specifically to do with their production arm on the
It might be, yeah, maybe
the movie and TV side. Because I remember having that news of them setting up and starting a few projects, a while back now, obviously. But...
Hopefully this works out, because I as much as we stopped reviewing it, I did like that show, and it's the sort of thing that I would probably binge one day when it's all said and done. So.
Yeah, it was perfectly enjoyable.
And hopefully for fans, they get more seasons, because especially like to have the renewal announced and then have something else stop it is like so
months later.
Yeah, that is soul crushing, honestly.
Yeah.
As a fan of a TV show, so hopefully they can work this out. But that's what it is. So moving on, we have a big casting update for Penny Dreadful City of Angels. They're relaunching that show in a new time period, set in 1938 Los Angeles. Natalie Dormer has been added as one of the leads in the role in the show.
I like Natalie Dormer. I remember this. I remember the premise of this new version sounding a little bit more interesting.
Dormer will play Magda, a supernatural demon who can take the appearance of anyone she chooses and manifest in a number of guises throughout the story. Described as a charismatic, clever, and chameleon-like, Magda is a dangerous enemy and an invaluable ally. So that feels like the sort of attitude that I can see Dormer portraying.
Yeah.
She joins,
and let's be honest, if you could choose to look however you want, I get why you go with Dormer.
She joins previously announced cast members Daniel Zavato, who'll play Detective Vega, and Jessica Garza and Jonathan Nieves. So there's a few other roles cast as well. So they're gearing that up. It's kind of weird that's came back in the way that it has. But
it has. I do remember the synopsis sounding more interesting than the other version. So yeah, maybe at some point.
Yeah, maybe. Next up, Showtime's got a new director for Halo. If you remember, in case you've forgotten, because you might have, Showtime are actually working on a live-action Halo show, or so they claim. They've announced that Otto Bathurst will be assuming the director's chair for multiple episodes, as well as serving as executive producer on the live-action show. His most recent credits include last year's adaptation of Robin Hood, starring Taron Egerton and Jimmy Fox.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say he also directed the first episode of Black Mirror, the very first one.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not like he has got no competent work to his name. I've seen things that he's done that are good.
But you've also seen Robin Hood.
But I've also seen Robin Hood. Just that there was a side part of this story that you probably don't have about the episode count that I thought was interesting, is they've actually reduced it to 9 episodes instead of 10. And this has come about because in the writer's room, they've plotted out the season and gone, do you know what? This actually works better. We only want 9 because it fits better. We're stretching it out to get to 10. And they've gone, yeah, all right, 9. Which I think is an interesting decision to make because we don't usually hear about that happening.
No, normally you're given an episode number and it's the writer's job to fill. Because it's like having a runtime. Well, I mean, it's not a big deal in the streaming services now, but if you're on a TV channel, a network, you have to have a certain runtime. You have to write for that format. You have to write for that exact amount of time. That's just part of what writing is. So at the same time, though, I do like them making that call if that's what they've done. So
yeah, creatively, I'm down for it. They're gone, do you know what? We're stretching it out. It'll feel weird. We think we can do a better job with 9. I like that they're willing to give them that all right, well, 9 it is. All
right, so we have a couple of comedies in this section now. CBS have made a late pilot pickup, ordering which tells me we're at a pilot season now because we had a lot of pilot orders for like a month there, constantly.
We did, yeah.
So we're actually on the other side of it now. So CBS has made a late pilot pickup. A multi-camera comedy from with Jane the Virgin's Jamie Camille to star in it. It's untitled right now. When an outrageously wealthy trust fund baby is cut off by his father, he and his wife move into her estranged sister's Reseda condo, forcing the two siblings to reconnect.
Sounds generic.
It's a house family comedy, yeah. That's just what it is.
I mean, I don't even want to say it'll be shit because it might not be, but it just sounds, just a generic comedy.
Showtime's ordered a pilot, a comedy. It's called How to Make Love to a Black Woman, and then in brackets, who may be working through some shit. It's a bit long, but I'll give it to them. It's a eye-catching title. Half-hour comedy anthology series created by Casalina Kisake, if I'm saying that right. I apologise if I'm not.
You're almost certainly not.
But Lena Waithe is producing. It's through her production company.
Okay.
It's part of her overall deal with Showtime. The multi-part episodes tell stories about connection and rejection that explore our most harrowing and harrowingly comic sexual secrets. Kathy's script is haunting, funny, and extremely vulnerable. It's the kind of script that doesn't come around very often, said Waith in a statement. So
you said multi-part episodes.
Yeah, so maybe it's arcs. Maybe it's like 2 or 3 episode
because
stories.
we know, anthology, multi-part episodes. So maybe 3 episodes. So you basically get an hour and a half movie split up into 3.
Yeah, but presumably they'll have like maybe 10 episodes or something.
Maybe you get like 3 stories over the season.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning this Kisaki, I'm probably butchering that name, is currently working on season 2 of Homecoming.
Okay.
So
suddenly there's some cred there.
Notable. So moving on to the dramas though. First up, Netflix has put out a straight-to-series order for a 10-episode story based on a book. It's called Firefly Lane. What are you sighing for?
Just get it over and done with.
What? I've got nothing to say.
Stop dragging this out.
Based on a novel with the same name, the New York Times best-selling author Kristen Hanna, the show will revolve around Kate and Tully, 2 women who meet as younger girls and become inseparable best friends through 30 years of ups and downs, successes and failures, depression and disappointments. However, when an unthinkable betrayal breaks them apart, the pair go on their separate ways, and it's unclear whether they will ever be able to reconcile.
Doesn't sound like it's for us.
Yeah, I feel like you would need some serious creative talent that I would care about to make me want to watch this, because that description does nothing for me.
Yeah, and that's not to say it'll be a bad show. I'm sure for its audience, it has the potential.
It sounds like one of them like sleeps with the other one's husband or something like that. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what it sounds like. Which would be Goram Unfaithful.
Move on.
What?
Move on now.
You can't stop the signal.
Sick of this show. Why do I put up with this every week?
So next up, Netflix have announced a series. Well, Ryan Murphy announced it, but it's got a straight-to-series order at Netflix. It's called Hollywood, and it's described as a love letter to the golden age of Tinseltown, which he posted on Instagram. So yeah, that's all we really know.
That we got?
Yeah, that's all we know. But it's Ryan Murphy is Hollywood golden age. I assume it's going to be a period piece.
Probably.
So
this could go either way in terms of how I feel like I feel like his shows are all over the place. It's
the third show that he's got in Netflix, although it's the first one that's under his because the first 2 that he did, Ratchet's the first one that's coming up with Sarah Paulson, the one that flew over Cuckoo's Nest.
That's happening.
Thing. Yeah, that's still happening. That and the other one, The Politician, were both done under 20th Century Fox's deal with Netflix, where he was a part of it at the time. But now he's actually got a deal with Netflix directly. This is the first one that he's doing under that deal. So
yeah, I remember that deal happening. Interesting. Like I said, his shows vary so much, not just in quality, but in style and tone. It's not like some other, like Shonda Rhimes, for example. It's like, okay, I know what I'm getting.
Brian Fuller.
Sure, for better or worse, you know what you're getting. With Murphy, I don't. I really don't. There's...
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a Scream Queens, but no. I can hope.
Yeah, I agree. I can hope. But I mean, it could end up more of a Glee.
It could. Or a American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Although people say American Crime Story is quite good. I've not watched it, but
yeah, we're winning all sorts of awards. This newest one, right?
Yeah. So next up, HBO is in early development for a show called Loner. It's a drama based on a novel by Teddy Wayne, with Wayne attached to pen the pilot and executive produce. In Loner, David Federman has never felt appreciated, and an academically gifted yet painfully forgettable member of his New Jersey high school class, the withdrawn, mild-mannered freshman arrives at Harvard fully expecting to be embraced by a new tribe of high-achieving peers. Initially, however, his social prospects seem unlikely to change, sentencing him to a lifetime of anonymity. Then he meets Veronica Morgan Wells. Struck by her beauty, wit, and sophisticated Manhattan upbringing, David becomes instantly infatuated, determined to win her attention and invite her into her glamorous world. He begins compromising his moral standards for this one great shot at happiness. But both Veronica and David, it turns out, are not exactly what they seem. That last part's like, what do you mean not what they seem? What is it about them?
No, that's a shitty cliche line where it's like, well, we don't really want to tell you anything, so there's something going on, but it could go in any direction.
I'm not gonna lie, the first part of this made it sound like he was going to be like a stalker. Like, I was getting like, he sees this girl, he's a bit of an introvert, and it sounds like he's, the bit is about his morals, like he's compromising his morals. Like, it felt like, is he getting creepy? But I don't know if that's actually what it is.
I was getting compromising morals more. She was like, kind of, making him do so, like do some stuff, like, like, oh, hey, you want to be with me, you gotta go and, toughen up.
All right, I thought it would say something like build a crib or wax a car or
yeah, that's where I'm gonna go with it.
Bake a cake, or what's she making him do? She making him
obviously things that are slightly on the illegal side.
Take advanced physics. I don't know.
Oh, that was torture. Yeah, no, I wasn't into that description.
All right. Yeah, no, I wasn't really fan of that. But this is the thing with HBO. This could end up being like a really good drama.
It could, but I wasn't. It felt cliche at the end, and just turn me off.
Next up, Jim Henson's iconic 80s anthology series, The Storyteller, is eyeing a comeback. Fremantle is teaming up with the Jim Henson Company and Neil Gaiman for a reimagined version of The Storyteller for TV. Inspired by his daughter Lisa's university studies in folklore and mythology, Jim Henson created the original version of The Storyteller in 1987 and directed multiple episodes, with Oscar winner Anthony Minghella writing all the episodes. The Emmy and BAFTA winning live-action TV series featured creatures by Jim Henson's Creature Shop and a retelling of various European folktales, with mysterious elfin storyteller played by John Hurt. So that was like the crypt keeper of this thing. Yeah. The world of Storyteller was inhabited by various mystical and magical characters: heartless giants, enchanted beggars, white lions, human hedgehogs. Human hedgehogs, okay, you got my attention. The other ones didn't interest me, but human hedgehogs.
I would love to see that, because as a practical effect. Oh boy. Exploring
themes such as fear, desire, death, and destiny, and challenging notions about good and evil. The new incarnation will be written and executive produced by Gaiman, so he's writing it.
I'm in.
The Storyteller will create a mystical world combining various fairy tales and folklore. It will be updated to work for the binging kind of viewer of today, Gaiman said, which tells me that it's going to not be individual episodes. That tells me that he's probably going to create a world where they all coexist. That's probably what it sounds like to me.
I can still see this done as an anthology style. Like, each episode follows one thing, but they're all little crossover elements, and they're part of.
I'm just thinking like of the mythology that he builds in something like Sandman. I can almost see him just making them all coexist. And
Sandman is full of just it's bordering on being an anthology itself as a series overall.
Yeah, but it has all these
stories that happen to feature Sandman.
So I think this will have a story that plays out over the season. I mean, it might still be fairly episodic in how it does it, but I can see it having like a culmination at the end that plays off everything that's happened.
I'm really into the sound of this one.
Yeah, no network or anything like that yet, so we'll see where it ends up. Could be anywhere. But if they stick to the practical effects, and given that they're working with the Jim Henson Company,
I would assume so. Yeah,
you'd feel like they probably are.
I know Gaiman's got a good relationship with Amazon right now.
That's true.
So I wouldn't be too surprised to see it go in that direction.
In fact, I think he has a first look with them, if I'm right in saying.
He might do, yeah. I mean, because I know there's at least a couple of shows that have gone there now.
I'm kind of lukewarm on Gaiman. Whether or not I like this kind of depends on a lot of things. I will say it being mostly practical effects is a bit more intriguing to me.
Yeah, me too.
But hey, next up, Ubisoft is teaming up with Atlas Entertainment to develop a live-action show based on...
I've already seen it, sorry.
You already seen it? Oh, okay. Skull and Bones. I was trying to build up some suspense there because I thought this was random as shit.
I know, it happened to catch my eye earlier in the week, and I was like, really?
Yeah, Skull and Bones is not even out yet. It's just it's a multiplayer pirate game. I don't even know if it's got a story.
I assume it'll have some semblance of a story.
Skull and Bones.
I quite like the look of the game more than you do.
Oh god, no! You couldn't pay me to play that shit. Skull and Bones is expected to launch on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One sometimes in the 2019 to 2020. I like how they don't know if it's coming out 2019 or not. They're just sort of ballparking.
They've just taken a stab in the dark. Oh yeah, maybe.
The game takes place at the end of the golden age of piracy and lets players customize their own ships, sail the Indian Ocean, and wage naval combat in both solo and co-op gameplay. Solo? I don't remember them ever announced a solo.
Oh, they definitely mentioned it. I don't think we've seen any of the solo games.
Okay. Tacked on campaign.
But I mean, they said that about Rainbow Six Siege at one point.
Oh yeah, Rainbow Six Siege,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was supposed to have a campaign. They had people out on stage, they had actors up there going, "Hey, look, we're doing this," and then
then nothing. It went in the way of the dodo.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we're lucky, one day, Connor. So they've not revealed any details about it.
I like how that implies that there's a chance that I might just live forever. And you're actually a little concerned about that.
The only thing they've told is that it's going to have a female lead, but there's no news about what the story's going to be.
I mean, what was that pirate show that was on a few years ago? I think Bay produced it. Black
Sails.
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, that ended about 2-3 years ago. So, I mean, I guess there's a void of pirate shows now.
Yeah, I mean, pirates as a topic don't really interest me that much. It's not to say that I can't love something that's pirates focused. It's just it has to just be good. It has to be, it can't just be what keep afloat, if you will, on its pirate theme.
No, I get that.
And Ubisoft is a company that make me kind of just largely apathetic towards anything they do. So it's hard to be interested in this.
I'm interested in the sense of it's a fresh IP, right? It's kind of probably got more leniency to kind of just do what you want as a storyteller, whoever ends up running the show.
Yeah, I guess. I'm just not any pirates ultimately.
Yeah, I am a bit more. The classic. They're a staple of stories.
Born a staple.
God's sake.
All right, next up, and I believe the final news item of the week. This is what happens when there's no network pilots to go through. There's not this big section at the end, which is all these boring network descriptions. Legendary Entertainment is developing a TV series set in the Land of Oz from novels by L. Frank Baum. The Untitled series hails from Ed Rickort, who will write and produce. The series will examine stories and characters in Oz that haven't been previously explored. When the return of the long-exiled witch brings fear, division, and war to Oz, the only hope is a servant girl who may become the most powerful and dangerous woman in the land. This is almost like clockwork now, how every couple of years there's some new stab at doing The Wizard of Oz in some way on TV.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's quite a lot of books that went through.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, clearly this is not based on like the original movie. This is these books that were written at some point. But
yeah, just looking at the I googled it. I'm sure there's quite a lot of the books. It seems like there was 14 original books.
They got a lot of material then to work from, I guess.
Yeah, between 1900 and 1920. So, but yeah, I can understand why that. There's plenty to draw from that you can do a story. I'm sure that won't feel like we're just doing that.
I guess it's because Emerald City was 2 years ago we watched that pilot.
It was kind of shy, yeah.
It was pretty shit, yeah. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but it wasn't good.
It was generic network shite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I find it hard to get enthused by this. If they came out and told me it's going to be a darker take on it, like it's going to be like a darker Oz, then I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe.
Nah, I get that.
The prequel movie that Raimi did, I hated that with a passion. It was a bad remake of Army of Darkness.
Really?
Oh, seriously. See if you line the plots up, they're almost identical. It's insane.
Wow, that's weird.
Down to how he's like training the group of people how to like fight back with his own tricks from his world. Like it's Army of Darkness.
Oh man, okay. I mean, I believe you, but weird. It's easy to feel cynical about this because it's name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of material there to draw from. I mean, someone's bound to do it right eventually.
True. So yeah, so we'll see where that ends up. Again, there's no network yet. Legendary Entertainment are doing it. So it could end up anywhere.
Yeah.
So, but hey, that's the news for the week. That's
just a couple of little tidbits I've seen that are moderately interesting.
Do you know what? I feel like you do this at the end. I feel like it's less about you care about these news stories and more about you just love the idea of saying, hey, Peter missed these things.
No, because I don't think it's things you've missed. They're not big news stories. They're just little things that have come about because of Instagram photos, basically.
This is
one of them,
exciting, folks.
Well, I don't know.
Break out the selfie sticks. It's time.
Shut up. Mr. Robot's only just starting production. Yeah, they're only just doing the table reads.
Oh, yeah. I saw the table read photos from... it was Kelly Chaikin's Twitter.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn it, they're only just starting. I mean, I guess this is what happened because he went away and did Homecoming, which was very good.
I still think it'll hit this year, though.
Yeah, but it'll be quite late this year.
It'll be late this year, but I still think the timescale of shooting a TV show, I think they'll be shooting, from like May to say August, probably something like that.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see it late October, November time. But I was hoping to get it in the summer.
It'll be a Christmas treat.
It might well be. And the other one that I saw as an Instagram photo, it was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is starting shooting on season 6.
7.
Not 6, 7, yeah.
You butchered that.
They're doing that. I did. But I was shocked they're getting that out of the way already.
Yeah, I guess they're still shooting for the network schedule, even though it's not airing till later.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It's weird.
Yeah. That's cool, though. It means we know we have 2 seasons in the bank. But by the time you're watching season 6, they'll probably mostly be done shooting season 7.
Yeah, it means I assume they're just shooting them mostly back to back at that point. A bit of a break in between, but not a long break.
It depends how long ago they shot season 6, because it could have been a reasonable amount of time ago now.
It could have been, yeah.
They could have been done with that before Christmas, maybe.
Yeah. We got a release window for that. We know it's coming in May.
We don't have a date, but we have a month. Yeah.
We have a month. It came on a poster that they put out.
Yeah, it's coming in May, but they've not told us what date it is yet. Obviously, we're looking forward to it because we love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. A little bit earlier than I think we were expecting, because obviously we were told summer. Traditionally, I know networks usually mean that as June onwards.
Yeah, I guess the way I'm looking at it is that it's probably going to be middle of May when the other shows finish, and it'll come in and replace something.
It'll replace something, yeah.
I might not, but that'd be my guess at this point.
I would also assume that, but hey, I'm down for it.
Yeah,
I think the only reason it was surprising is that there were comments made previously that indicated July. So that's why it was. Oh, this is earlier than I thought it was going to be, but it's a nice surprise.
Yeah, there you go. That is the news for this week. And like I say, if there's a news next week, it'll be me on my own, which I've done once or twice before. So
depends if there's any news worth talking about, doesn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. If it feels like there's enough news to sit and have a solo chat about, as it were, I'll sit and do it. But Connor was on vacation for a few days. We did actually record ahead on Umbrella Academy, so the one every other day schedule for that. Every 2 days you get an Umbrella Academy review. That will not be interrupted. That will go as if nothing's changed because we got ahead enough that we could keep that going. Yeah. So that'll not happen. And then for some movie stuff, we already have some influxes recorded, so patrons will still be getting early influxes during the week. So we're actually relatively well prepared for this. And there's at least one Star Trek Next Generation left for this coming week as well. So if we miss a week on Star Trek The Next Generation, it'll be the week after on Patreon. We miss a week.
Yeah.
But hopefully we won't. Hopefully we can squeeze one in just in time to.
Yeah, we'll try.
Because we've not had a week off since we started Next Gen, and I'd love to keep that streak going.
Yeah. That said, we're coming up to roughly where mid-season break could be.
Oh, sure.
Past that.
Well, it went straight to syndication, so there might not have been one.
That's true, yeah.
On Next Gen.
That's a good point.
I don't think Next Gen necessarily played by those rules, depending.
We will just go, well, it's mid-season if we need to miss a week. We'll make our own mid-season.
We'll get it in. Yeah. I'm going to try out my damnedest anyway. But that is the show. So yeah, you can look forward to that. And if you're thinking there's a couple of things that have been slipping recently, it's particularly with my solo content, like I did the Buffy commentaries, I did Babylon 5. Basically, everything's went on hold till next week because I have a lot of free time next week and I want to squeeze in movies as much as possible because we're doing our top 10 movies of 2018 at the end of this week, and I've been trying to squeeze in more 2018 movies. So everything get pushed to next week, and I'm working on that just now.
Yeah, Maybe you'll get lucky and Pete'll stack up on some content while I'm
I
gone.
might, because I have like 4 or 5 days next week
To do nothing.
nothing else. Yeah, I actually have some free time for a change. So I'll get ahead and stuff. I was even toying and starting a new thing, but I'm not.
Oh, you can tell me about this after.
Yeah.
And then I can tell you why it's a shit idea.
There was some requests for something, and it was something that I talked about with someone about. It didn't seem like it was going to happen, but I might do it solo. I don't know.
Okay.
But
I'm
you know, like,
intrigued.
do I want to stack another solo thing on top of my, what I've already got to do on a regular basis?
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it, but so I don't want to reveal anything. But yeah, in terms of other stuff, of course, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. You can do that over there. If you are a patron for our top movies of 2018, you have until Sunday morning to submit your own top 10. $1 and up patrons can do that, and they get like a points based on where you rank them, and then there'll be like a patrons. Like the results of that top 10, the final top 10, will be revealed at the end of that show on Sunday. Well, we record it on Sunday.
Assuming Pete remembers this time.
I'll remember. I'm even making a point of reminding them more often, just so that I remember, right?
Okay.
Every day, remember and
getting
get your votes in, because it's coming. So you do that. We just opened the Mail Fuzz Discord server, which everyone can join. There is a patron only channel in there as well, again for people at the $1 tier and up, but there's a general area too for everyone.
Yeah, it's worth coming check out. There's a bit of a community going in there. Yeah, we're popping in and out when we can.
I'll put it in the description, or
yeah, put an invite link in the description.
Yeah, I'll put the invite link in the description. And you can come join the Discord if you wish.
Just have a chat with others who are fans of various contents that we do.
Yes. Anything else to tell you about? I don't think so. So there you go. That is the week's TV news. So thank you very much once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?